All right, welcome to the video here for the homework assignment for lesson number 3. So in lesson number 3, we kind of took what we did in lesson number 2 and kind of expanded a little bit, practiced some skills, and saw that we can do some of this I multiplication without using the calculator so much. So looking at this first example, there's x in there. So I can't just go ahead and type this in the calculator like you might have done in lesson 2. You have to actually be able to do this using algebra. So if I square that first expression, I'm going to multiply it by itself. So I have x plus I, x plus I. X times x is x squared. X times I is xi. So I'm going to get 2 of those, and I'm going to get I squared. Now, if you're really smart, you saw that that second one that I'm asking you to square is the same numbers but negative. So when I multiply this one out, I don't really have to do too much thinking. It's going to be the same parts, just some of them are going to be negative. Right? If you had to multiply it out, multiply it out. So now what we're going to get here for that first expression is x squared plus 2xi's plus I squared minus parentheses x squared minus 2xi plus I squared. Notice I'm putting the second thing in a parentheses because I'm subtracting all of this. This whole thing is being subtracted. So if I distribute the negative, I then can combine like terms. The x squareds are going to cancel. The I squareds are going to cancel. So I'm going to be left with 4xi. Now, it doesn't say to put this in a plus bi form, but I'm going to just as good practice. So 0 plus 4xi. Xi becomes the imaginary part. Number 2 asks us to evaluate 1 plus I squared. That you can type into your calculator. I don't want you to. Let's actually do some practice here of, what do we know? So I'm going to get 1 plus 2i plus I squared. I squared, remember, is -1. Positive 1 and -1 cancel, so this becomes 0 plus 2i. Now, the second part of this question is having you do some thinking, right? I know thinking is hard sometimes. So it says 1 plus I to the 4th power, and they want us to use the previous answer to evaluate that. So if I already know 1 plus I squared, I could just square that, and I would get 1 plus I to the 4th. What I'm saying here is if I have 1 plus I squared, and I square it, that's the same as this. So I've already evaluated 1 plus I squared, and that came out to be just 2i. So if I do 2i squared, I should get 1 plus I to the 4th power. So if I do that, I get 4i squared. Now 4i squared I can evaluate because I squared is a -1, so it's going to change the sign of whatever it's equal to. So this is going to become -4 plus 0i. Well, then I can use that answer and apply it to the 8th power, right? So if I take 1 plus I to the 4th, and square that, that's the same as 1 plus I to the 8th power. So if I take my -4 and I square it, I get positive 16 plus 0i. That's just how we can do these kind of exponent problems a little bit more efficiently. Like I wouldn't want to multiply 1 plus I times itself 8 times. That would be a whole bunch of algebra to get this answer. The other thing about this is you can always use your calculator, right, to check it and make sure you did it right. All right, let's try another one. Number 3 gives us x minus I squared and x plus I squared, and we want to evaluate all of that and then multiply it all together. So let's do some multiplication first. So I need to multiply xn minus minus 1, x minus 1. So that's going to be x squared minus xi minus xi, and then positive I squared. And that's going to give me x squared minus 2xi. I squared is really minus 1. I want to do the same thing for x plus 1i. I'm going to get a similar answer here. So I'm going to get x squared plus 2xi minus 1. Right, I squared, remember, is negative 1. So I have the two expressions that I have to now multiply. So this is telling me I now have to take these two things, x squared minus 2xi minus 1, and multiply to x squared plus 2xi minus 1. So I need to make a bigger box here, because I have a 3 by 3 I have to multiply. All right, so a little bit more multiplication here. X squared times x squared is x to the fourth. X squared times 2xi is going to be 2x cubed I. X squared times negative 1 is negative x squared. Negative 2xi times x squared is negative 2x to the third I. These cancel. We like that. We like it when i's cancel. Negative 2xi times positive 2xi is negative 4x squared I squared. Negative 2xi times negative 1 is just positive 2xi. Negative 1 times x squared is negative x squared. Negative 1 times positive 2xi is negative 2xi. These cancel. And negative 1 times negative 1 is positive 1. So we have a lot of stuff here that we can combine. We see some like terms. This is a like term to this. So I have x to the fourth minus 2x squareds plus 1. And I'm just going to put this term that still has I in it at the end. Minus 4x squared I squared. Now that last term I can evaluate. I can simplify further because I squared, remember, right, I'm probably going to write this on the board about 1,000,000 times. I squared is negative 1. So that last term I wrote there can be rewritten to positive 4x squareds. All right, I'm just going to take the I squared away and change whatever the sign is that it's attached to. So I have another like term. Negative 2x squared, positive 4x squared. That's going to give me positive 2x squared. And there is my answer. Hopefully you were able to do a lot of this yourself, and I will see you soon.